An ambitious drifter named Lou, desperate to make something of himself in the city's after hours, soon crosses the line between witnessing tragedy and manufacturing it and orchestrates his own dark reality at the cost of everyone else. On a quiet night in Los Angeles, as a thief named Lou Bloom tries to break into a rail yard, a security guard approaches him and asks to see his ID. While stalling for time, Lou notices a fancy watch on the guard's wrist, starts a fight with him, and professionally swipes it. Lou then loads what he stole into his back seat, drives to the local scrapyard, and negotiates to sell it. Lou then boldly asks the foreman for a job. However, the foreman refuses to, saying he doesn't want to hire a thief. Later, as Lou drives home, he notices police squad cars responding to an emergency, follows them, and arrives at a burning car wreckage. Then, Lou observes quietly as a photojournalist named Joe Loader and his team rush to the scene, get as close to the wreckage as possible, and document everything on their camera. Soon, Lou learns that as a freelance photojournalist, Joe sells the footage to the highest bidder among the local news stations. Fascinated, Lou asks Joe for a job, but is turned down. The next morning, as Lou quietly watches TV in his small apartment, he sees Joe's footage of the wreckage and becomes captivated. Later that day, Lou goes to the beach, steals a bike, and goes to a nearby shop and tries to negotiate top dollar for it. When that fails, Lou gets store credit for a camcorder and a police scanner.
$2,500 and that's giving it away.
No bike's got 37 gears.
That night, just as he saw Joe do, Lou turns on his police scanner and intently listens to filter out any incidents he can go to. After a lengthy wait, an incident catches his attention, and he rushes to the location. There, he quickly gets out of the car and attempts to record the situation, but is soon thrown off by the police officers.
Freelance!
What are you doing?
Filming for TV.
No, back away.
Scared by the officer's warning, Lou runs off to the next incident, but is also thrown off the scene by the emergency responders. Then, as he patiently roams the street, Lou hears of a third incident, rushes there, and finds the scene full of emergency responders, cops, and other photojournalists. Hoping to get promising footage, Lou swiftly passes through everyone and takes a video of the shooting victim close up until a cop throws him and the rest of the photojournalists off the scene. Then Lou follows a fellow photojournalist and intently listens as he negotiates a price for his work with a local news agency and makes a note. He then heads to a local news channel called KWLA6, meets the news director Nina Romina, and shows her his footage. Impressed by the graphic nature of the footage, Nina decides to use the footage, negotiates the price with Lou, and advises him to get better recording equipment with the money so that he can go far in his new career. Nina adds that she values graphic footage and advises him to focus on criminal incidents in affluent, white neighborhoods so that the news will have the shock factor. Flattered to get the support of an experienced news director, Lou thanks Nina and promises to provide her with high-quality graphic footage. The next morning, Lou proudly watches his footage on the news before spending hours studying police codes in hopes of filtering incident reports and choosing which ones to attend effectively.
Rescue 2249, engine 99 for Coldwater, acknowledge.
In the next few days, Lou continues his loner lifestyle and enjoys his own company. Then, once he finishes memorizing every code by heart, Lou poses as a successful entrepreneur and hires a young, homeless, and desperate man named Rick as his assistant so that he can help him navigate the streets and watch his car while he's busy taking footage.
Does it have GPS?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Congratulations, you're hired.
That night, Lou and Rick sit in the car for hours waiting for the right incident report and finally hear of a structure fire. Using GPS, Rick chooses the fastest routes and guides Lou, who drives like a madman.
That's too fast!
However, when the duo reaches the scene, they are disappointed to see that they're too late and other photojournalists have already gotten the story. To make matters worse, Joe mocks Lou about his late arrival. Then Lou blames Rick for his weak navigation skills and warns him to improve. Soon, the duo rushes to another crime scene in the suburbs and finds it swarming with first responders. Lou jumps out of the car, discreetly enters an open house, and takes close-up pictures of the victims talking to first responders in the backyard. Lou takes this to KWLA6 and is happy to see that Nina is impressed with his work, disregards her colleagues' concerns, and decides to run the story.
Oh, that's a great piece of tape.
Lou compliments Nina on her decision-making and goes on a bizarre monologue telling her how he has come to fancy a career in the TV news industry.
The television news might just be something I love.
In the next few weeks during the nights, Lou and Rick go around town taking up close crime scene footage and selling it to KWLA6. As business booms, Lou buys a faster, fancier car and better recording equipment. Despite getting along with Rick and developing a good working relationship, Lou keeps a close eye on the young man and gives him occasional warnings that strengthen his psychological hold over him.
However, you just spilled gasoline on my car, which will lead to paint. I need you to tighten up a bit on this.
One night, as Lou and Rick cruise around waiting for an incident report, they hear of a car crash in a good neighborhood and rush there. There, Lou is delighted to see that they are the first on the scene and tries to talk to a witness calling emergency services to no avail.
Get it out! I'm trying to talk to 911!
Lou then searches around the scene and finds the victim, and in hopes of getting good content for his footage, manipulates the scene and angles the victim. He then takes multiple footage and heads off to the news station as the police and Joe arrive. At the news station, Nina loves the footage and congratulates Lou on the great work he's doing. Then, the once shy man who blushed at Nina's compliments changes his tone, asks Nina to go out with him, and calmly threatens to sell his footage to competing news stations if she declines. Shocked, Nina tries to talk him out by mentioning that she's twice his age and that she doesn't want to ruin their working relationship, but all reason falls on deaf ears.
Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that.
A few days later, recognizing that Lou has become a competitor, Joe approaches him and gives him a few pointers on how to sell his footage. Then he gleefully shares that he has added high-tech camcorders and a second van to expand his business and offers him a job. Unimpressed by the whole proposal, Lou flatly declines.
I'm screaming in your face. I'm not f***ing interested.
One evening, Lou and Nina go out to dinner and try to get to know one another. However, Lou freaks Nina out by detailing that he already knows everything there is to know about her by studying her profile online. Then, as Nina politely tries to explain that they should keep things professional, things take a sinister turn, and Lou calmly reminds her that he single-handedly raised the ratings of the news station and that she needs him to keep her job as her current contract is running out.
Where are you going with this?
A few minutes later, a plane crash is reported on the police scanner, and Lou and Rick rush there. However, when they get there, they are disappointed to find the scene swarmed by journalists and police who order them away. Then Joe mocks Lou for his late arrival, for turning down his offer, and details that he missed a big story.
Exclusive! I'm banging!
Later that night, Lou takes footage from different crime scenes to the news station, but Nina loses her mind in anger for missing out on the plane crash story and scolds him to do better.
And I'm leading with a goddamn stabbing in Corona.
Later, Lou takes his frustration out on his apartment. The next morning, Lou goes to Joe's house and discreetly messes with one of his vans. That night, Joe gets in an accident, and Lou and Rick rush to the scene. Despite Rick's plea not to take footage of one of their own, Lou approaches the ambulance and takes an up-close video of Joe, who helplessly watches him in utter horror. Later, Lou and Rick hear a report of an armed home invasion, speed to the location, and realize that they are the only ones there. Then Lou cautiously approaches the house and hears gunshots. Hiding in the bushes, Lou records the intruders, who quickly get in their car to flee, and takes a close shot of their license plate. He then enters the house and takes close-up footage of the gruesome home invasion that left 3 dead victims, and heads out before the police arrive. Later, Lou cuts the identity of the criminals out of his video and heads to the news station. There, knowing how rare and impressive his footage is, Lou drives a hard bargain and, on top of a hefty price, negotiates to have his work credited by the news anchors from then on, and to be introduced to Nina's colleagues as the owner and president of a company called Video Production News.
That I think that what the two of you do is incredibly valuable.
The next morning, 2 detectives named Detective Frontieri and Detective Lieberman visit Lou at his apartment to ask him what he saw at the scene of the home invasion. Lou calmly lies to the police, tells them he didn't get a good look at the perpetrators, names a wrong vehicle model as the getaway car, and gives them the altered footage.
No, I made you a copy. I expected someone to come.
Later, Lou investigates the license plate number of the criminals and finds a residence associated with it. Then the next night, Lou meets Rick and promotes him to the vice president of the company and gives him a raise.
To executive vice president of video news.
Then Lou takes his new vice president to the criminal's residence and shares his plan to wait for the criminals to go to a public place to call the cops so that there will be a dangerous plot to film. Shocked by his employer's psychopathic nature, Rick agrees to go along with it, but demands to share in the $50,000 reward for catching the criminals. Lou becomes furious about this and begrudgingly agrees. Then after waiting for hours, the duo finally picks up movement and follows the suspect as he goes to pick up his partner. The duo follows the men to a restaurant where Lou calls 911 to give them the location and reports that the wanted suspects are armed. Then as the duo films, cops arrive on the scene and cautiously gauge the situation until one of the suspects starts shooting. While people lay dead, one of the suspects escapes, gets in his car, and leads the police in a car chase. Lou follows the chase with Rick by his side, filming the ordeal.
Stay on the police car.
Right up his ass!
Wide angle. We want all of it.
A few minutes into the high-speed chase, a squad car crashes. Soon, another squad car crashes into the suspect's car, and they both roll over.
707, come in.
Lou quickly gets out of his car to get closer shots and calmly walks around the scene. Still holding a grudge against Rick for his earlier challenge, Lou tells him that the suspect is dead and orders him to approach the car and get a close-up shot. However, as soon as Rick does, the suspect fatally shoots him while Lou records. Then the suspect is shot down by police officers. In his dying breath, Rick accuses Lou of setting him up. Unfazed, Lou calmly explains that he can't have an untrustworthy employee in his company and takes his camera from Rick before walking away.
You're crazy.
By the end of the night, the orchestrated arrest leaves multiple civilians and police officers dead and many more gravely injured. Later, Lou takes the footage to Nina, who's extremely excited and inspired by it, and soon changes her tone and expresses her devotion to Lou. Then detectives come to the news station in an attempt to confiscate the footage as evidence, but Nina defends her ownership rights. A few months later, Lou owns 2 vans and hires a team of interns to expand his business. And with that, the story ends. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more of the best film recaps.